I mean, you can't have people power without the people. So do something, folks. Get involved. Get involved in your local community. Realise that collecting trinkets and keeping ahead of the guy next door and having the latest exploding shoes is not what life is about. It doesn't matter whether you're keeping up with the Joneses or not. Forget what the Joneses are doing. They're just buying trinkets that they don't need, that are going to break after a couple of years. All these useless items that have no bearing on reality, no bearing on life, not even any real bearing on lifestyle. So just forget about it. Forget about all this stuff. Forget what the TV is telling you, and get out there and make a little bit of noise. You can do a number of things. I mean, open websites, do letterbox drops, hand out pamphlets, hand out leaflets, stand on the street with a megaphone if you have to, like Alex Jones does. But do something, folks. Do something. Don't let these people get away with it. And understand what your rights are. Understand that you're not subjected to maritime admiralty law. I mean, I've been hearing that there's a little bit more involved in this in America, how when America was formed, they're sort of saying, well, we're sovereign anyway, we're independent, so that you already are sovereign. You don't need to free yourself from this system because that's what the Constitution does. But it's not true. I mean, all the Constitution actually does is list the rights that you already have. These are inalienable rights that can't be taken away from you, that you were born with. All it does is list them. And you find that the amendments to the Constitution have systematically taken all of these away. And you speak out against this stuff, and you get called un-American, you get called unpatriotic. You got people like Bill O'Reilly telling anyone who questions the government is unpatriotic. But I mean, Bill O'Reilly obviously hates his country. He hates his country. He hates America, because if he didn't hate America, he would support the Constitution, because the Constitution is what makes America America. Without the Constitution, it's just a country. It's just a country open to corporate takeover. I mean, I'm in Australia. And I can tell you that America is one of the most envied countries on earth. Why is it one of the most envied countries? It's one of the most envied countries on earth because of its Constitution, folks. That is what makes America what it is. That is what makes America great. Without the Constitution, you don't have America. Do you really understand that, folks? Do you really understand that? Do you understand what true patriotism is? True patriotism is not waving the flag. True patriotism is standing up for all of those democratic rights that make our countries what they are. Without these democratic rights, we have no country. We have no sovereignty. We have nothing. All we have is corporate legislation controlling our lives. I mean, that's what people like what Bill O'Reilly fail to look at. Or perhaps they do look at it, and they're just paid to look the other way and to make people who do respect their country, to demonise these people, to make them into something that they're not, and to say that a true patriot bends over and takes one for the government. Well, Mr. Riley can bend over and take one all he likes, but he's not a patriot. He hates his country. It's very obvious he hates his country simply by his actions. And a lot of these reporters do. A lot of these mainstream media reporters don't give a damn about America, because if they did, they would stand up and say something about it. It's the same in Australia. A lot of these news reporters don't give a damn about their country, because if they did, they would be standing up and making noise about the rights that are being removed. I mean, we've got this brain-dead idiot on Channel 7 News saying it's a good thing that they're bringing in internet censorship because of all the porn on the internet, and we need to protect the children. Well, I've got a suggestion. I mean, I run a few websites, I run a few forums, and we get attacked by porn bots all the time. And I've traced all of these porn bots, and every single one of them comes from Googlebot. So it's Google that is putting forth all the porn. So why doesn't the government just ask Google to stop putting forth all the porn, instead of taking the rights and the freedoms away from the people? Instead of censoring the internet so that we can't get information that we need, why don't they just take control of the porn by stopping Google from spreading all the porn? I mean, it's so contrived, folks. It's so contrived. But the people just go, oh, it must be true because I saw it on TV. It just makes no sense to me at all. It just makes no sense. I'm absolutely amazed by all of it. People just tend to believe everything the television tells them. And then suddenly we find that we're losing all of our rights, we're losing all of our freedoms, and there is no freedom of speech. And talking about freedom of speech, here's a lovely point. I was actually blocked out of my YouTube channel the other day by the YouTube fascism department, I believe it was. Well, that's who I call them anyway. That's who they appear to be, so I'll call a spade a spade. But they blocked me out of my channel because I put a small clip on there, which I actually uploaded last June. So they're very, very quick off the mark, of course, in doing this. It's now February the next year. And they've told me that I'm not allowed to have this clip on there because it's violent. Now, this is a clip that basically showed British soldiers kicking the hell out of Iraqi teenagers and American soldiers taking pot shots at Iraqi drivers. This was on mainstream news at 6 p.m. You know, on the mainstream television. Doesn't show any actual violence. It just shows what's actually going on in Iraq. But they've removed the clip and they've blocked me from accessing my account until March the 1st. So this is what's happening to freedom of speech, folks. If you say anything about the truth or anything about what's going on, you're going to get in trouble. You have to be safe. You can only say what's safe and what is approved of by YouTube. It's the same with Gaza and what's going on in Israel. I mean, you could post anything on YouTube that shows how terrible Hamas is, but if you post anything on YouTube that shows the crimes of Israel, then you get called a racist and your clip gets removed. So one has to wonder about the term freedom of speech. There is no freedom of speech anymore, folks. I mean, they're doing all they can to stop this type of thing. They really don't want people to know what's going on at all. So you got to make some noise, folks. You got to make some noise. There are a few alternate sites opening up to YouTube. I will probably be joining one of them as well, but I will keep my stuff on YouTube, and I won't be deterred. I do have all of my stuff still posted to the Crow House, thecrowhouse.com. You can visit there and you can get all of my stuff from there. If my channel does get closed down on YouTube, I will simply upload a flash video player to my website and I'll post it all on my website. But it's good having it on YouTube because YouTube is where everybody goes. So you need to have the information out there in the public domain. I mean, it's all very well for me to have stuff on my website, but more people will get to see it through the medium of places like YouTube, which is why they are being so stringent in trying to close down freedom of speech and to stop people posting the truth. I mean, you know, you can post a Britney Spears clip, not a problem, but if you post the truth, well, you get in trouble. That's the way they've got it worked out. And this is going on all over the world. The rights of the people are just being systematically removed in all countries simply because the people are letting it happen. So stop complying with this system, people. Stop complying with this system. We have the power. They do not have the power. We have the power. Stop putting up with all the stuff that they do to you. Stop putting up with fluoride. Fluoride is just amazing. Dental fluorosis, you know, which is staining and pitting of the tooth enamel, and you get hip fractures. A lot of big increase in hip fractures from people that consume fluoride because it makes the bones brittle. A lowered IQ, of course, even in small doses in children. I mean, the effect that it has on children is phenomenal, a lot more than what it does on adults. So decreased thyroid function, of course, bone cancer, you know. I mean, all sorts of stuff. I mean, there's absolutely no need for fluoride in anything. Fluoride is rat poison, folks. Stop brushing your teeth with rat poison. Go and get some toothpaste from the health food shop. Hell, just use baking soda. Use anything. Fluoride compounds have no effect on reducing tooth decay. The whole thing is just one big scam, right? Only parents or individuals should have the right to decide whether they or their children take drugs. Okay? And that point alone should end compulsory fluoridation. But it doesn't. They just drug you anyway. This is a drug. It's a medication, right? Everything else that's put in water is put in water to purify the water. Fluoride is the only thing that is put in water which is put there to medicate people. Okay? This is forced medication, right? And they claim it's natural. They, you know, like I was saying last week, they claim it's found in the Earth's crust, blah, 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 all this stuff. Complete bollocks. Absolute bollocks, right? I mean, the Commissions of European Communities requires that sodium fluoride is labelled toxic. Right? It's labelled toxic, and it's not allowed to be consumed. Go and have a look at your toothpaste, and have a look at the fine print on the back of your toothpaste bottle. It tells you to seek medical advice if the stuff is swallowed. You're not supposed to swallow your toothpaste. It tells you that if a large amount of it is swallowed, to go and seek medical advice. Why? Because it contains a toxic waste. It contains a neurotoxin. It is a dioxin. It is poisonous. It is deadly poisonous. This is what they're putting in your food, right? In a court case, I think it was a 5-month-long court case of world experts. I believe it was in 1978, I think, in Pittsburgh. Scientists led by the US National Cancer Institute, they proved that fluoride kills 10,000 people annually from cancer. Okay, and this is admitted. This is absolutely admitted. This is proven by the council. I mean,